right, we back at it again, man. Welcome to episode 9 of Rap and Reason podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
I'm Earl Hopkins.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm a little under the weather, which explains why we're doing this remotely instead. But overall, I'm feeling good. I just interviewed Wallow earlier
Nice.
today for his book called Armed with Good Intentions, man. So it was dope conversation, and it's just cool tapping into some of the Philly influencers and change makers, man. So I'm feeling good. How you
I'm
feeling?
good, man. I got to check out his book too, man. That's been on my list of books I need to buy. So I definitely had to check out Wallow's book, man. I've been good though, man. Working. I'm working on a grant right now, teaching. We back in full swing in the classroom. So, yeah, man, it's been a wonderful thing working on this book. Of course, we're still working on this book on socially conscious hip hop that we've been writing. Yeah, man, I just put out an article in Diverse Issues in Higher Ed. Check that out if y'all get a chance. It's about politicians and hip hop and the relationship between the two, both past and present. So that's in Diverse Issues. So I put that out a few days ago, and yeah, man, just been working.
And I know we went to the Usher concert over the weekend, bro. That was crazy for me because again, I've seen Usher perform before. I saw him briefly at Roots Picnic back in 2023, but it was different seeing him in this format, bro. How did you enjoy the concert? That joint was
So let
great.
me tell you first and foremost. So I know you were working there. I know you were there for business as far as actually covering the concert. I was surprised by my girlfriend with Usher tickets. So I had no idea I was going to this concert until we pulled up. Uh, yeah. So great gift. She got me. She caught me off guard with that one, man. So I didn't know we were at an Usher concert until I saw somebody outside holding Usher shirts for sale. That's when I found out that we were going to Usher concert. She got me. She got me with that one, man. Usher is one of my favorite R&B singers, if not my favorite R&B singer. So, man, it was dope. I really think that they did a good job, man. And I thought the stage show was great. I like that he did two different sections of the show. It was like a well polished production for the first half, like with all the dancers and the theatrics, and then the second half was more just him with a microphone singing. You know what I mean? And I thought that was dope. Like
Mhm.
I like that he separated it like that, man. And it was honestly the best stage show that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's that for me. Like I think, and I love the part. There's a portion in it. I don't want to spoil it for folks that haven't seen Usher, but if you didn't see him in Philly, get over it, bro. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, bro. At one point in the show, he just went into the crowd, and it just became a Philly like party. Like that's what it felt like. It's just everything fell down on around him, and everybody was just sucked into the vibe that he created, man. So that was a good feeling. And he gave some ode to like some really dope Philly artists. One person in particular got a surprise guest spot, and that was Freeway, bro. That's like probably the third time I seen Freeway, but with Usher, like that just took me out, bro. I had no idea he was pulling up or why he pulled up, but I loved it.
Facts. Same here, man. That was a big surprise for me. I did not expect Freeway to come out at that concert. And I know, of course, Freeway being a staple in Philly, you saw the people go crazy when Freeway came out, man. And it was big. He did all the right songs. He did all the songs I would have wanted Freeway to do. Like it was he picked the right set list for that appearance. So man,
Hmm.
shout out to Freeway. I thought that was a nice touch. Like I said, at an Usher concert, I did not expect to see Freeway. I can honestly say that.
100%. And when I wrote this story, so I actually covered the concert, and I was trying not because I don't like to be ageist. I don't like putting numbers on folks. But for Usher to be 45 years old, bro,
Insane.
performing 2 hours basically straight, insane, and dancing the whole time, insane, bro.
And let me tell you, Usher's performance made me go to the gym immediately the next day because I was like, broken. I was like, bro, cannot be 45 up here performing for 2 hours and running around the stage and like he had his bodyguards
Mhm.
tired, bro, like running around the whole arena. Like I was just like, bro, this is not bro cannot be human. I was like, I'm tired watching him. So I'm like, I got to get better, man. So yeah. Shout out Usher. Like I said, craziest stage show I've seen live, and I like the fact that he had it. I even like the backstory of him like going in chronological order from his older stuff to his newer stuff. I just thought it's just a well put together and polished show. So man, yeah, shout out Usher for real.
Absolutely. And ladies, he did have his shirt off pretty much, at least a good portion of it for those that want to see him. And what people don't know too, before the tour started, bro, before he actually went on tour, he actually suffered a neck injury, like, and had to postpone the
I didn't know that.
concert. So the fact that he's just a couple weeks removed from like having a neck injury to then doing that, you know what I'm saying, and then getting this
Wow.
past, present, future tour underway, like that's a testament to his professionalism and just like everything of his artistry, bro. It's crazy. Usher's different, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea about the injury. That just even adds to the
Hmm.
legend that is Usher, man. And I think it's certain artists, man, because they're so young, people don't put them in that
Hmm.
legendary category. But like Usher is really a living legend. Like and I feel like
Literally.
the concert cemented it for me with just his catalog. And when even though this is a hip hop podcast, when you can't even talk about hip hop without mentioning Usher because of how much Usher has integrated Atlanta hip hop within his music. So yeah, man,
Mhm.
Usher is different, man. For him to have a catalog that extensive, for him to perform over 2 hours, with keeping the energy of the crowd is impressive, man. So yeah, definitely highly recommend
Absolutely.
if you haven't seen the tour yet and he's coming to a city near you, man. I 1,000% recommend going.
1,000. And let's actually like pivot to a song that just dropped, bro, because we are nearly on the tail end of summer. And Corday, Anderson Pack. This is J. Cole produced, by the way. The song Summer Drop, bro. What was your thoughts going into this song? Because I loved it from the moment I heard it. You know what I'm saying? What did you think about the track?
Absolutely, man. And it's crazy because, I think a lot of times we forget that J. Cole is also a producer. So when you see that J. Cole produce some of these tracks,
Mm,
it's always amazing. And he actually produced another track for Anderson Paak and Corday that I heard before called Two Tens. Anybody who's not heard it, I highly recommend looking at that. It came out about a
mhm,
year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. But a song has been on my playlist frequently. But when I heard this one, man, the rapping on this one is A1. The production is great. Like it's a fun track, man. It's a fun record. And the other one that I heard of theirs, Two Tens, is also a fun record like this. So for some reason, man, Corday and Anderson Paak aren't some people who stylistically you would think mesh well together, but they really work well together. And yeah, man, I loved it. I love the lyrics, love the like there's some bars there, there's some storytelling there. Corday does a lot of introspective rapping about his upbringing and his struggles within the song too. And I just think
mhm.
it's a dope song, man. And if this is leading to them doing a project together, I'm definitely going to be present for it. I think Anderson Paak and Corday are both two artists who are not only underrated, but I think are really the new wave of music, and they're some of the ones that are keeping the I'll say the integrity of the art, intact. I think
Mhm.
Corday as a lyricist and as a rapper is amazing, and then Anderson Paak as an everything, as a singer, rapper. I know he plays instruments as a musician, just across the board, man.
Mhm.
They all do some great music. So I think I highly recommend if you have not heard this Corday and Anderson Paak song, man, check it out. What you think about it?
No, I loved it, bro. And like, not enough songs get. I just love an end of summer song. Everybody talks about the summer anthem, this, that, and the third, but I love an end of summer jam. You know what I'm saying? Especially one with meat on his bones that you could really listen to really all year round, obviously. Like that's the ultimate goal, but especially gives you that feeling of, okay, we on the cusp of fall. This was a great summer. Let's reflect on it and let's reflect on the years as the years pass. So I loved it. Those deep undercuts, like those type of topics that he was talking about. I love, and I just love Corday, and clearly this collaboration, this duo, and Anderson Paak and Corday, it works, bro, because they've collaborated on other songs in the past, as you said. And even on Corday's debut album, they did a collaboration, and I love that song too. So yeah, they got something special. So if this does end up in a project, I'm going to be one of the first. I'm sure we're both going to be one of the first to listen to it because Anderson Paak already did a collaboration with Knowledge, the producer, on the album Why Lord, called by No Worry. So yo, he, if you're gonna meld your skills with any other artist, I think Anderson Paak is always going to be the first person to compliment whatever you got going on because he's a master musician, vocalist, songwriter, and rapper. He can rap too. So Yeah, man. I love this, and I love what's potentially to come from this too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. And I think that J. Cole being on this production between this and their last collaboration, man, is interesting to me. I'm just wondering how that even came about. Like, are they all
Yeah,
just in the studio together? Is J. Cole just sending certain artists that he's a fan of, like beats? I don't know how it's working, but man, keep at it, man. And you know what? Corday to me, honestly, would be a good fit in the Dreamville camp. You know, I wonder if that's a
absolutely.
discussion. I wonder if that's a discussion that's came about like within their collaborations. Because to me, he would even. I think it would be a good move for both him as far as visibility, but also as far as Dreamville having somebody like a Corday. I think that would be a good merging in general. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever see it happening. I feel like Corday, like especially with because he's Grammy nominated too. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I think like with that element, I think I would love him. I think he would be a great fit, as you said. He's pretty much tailor made for a camp like that because lyrically, he's up to par with anybody in that camp who are all lyrically sharp. He makes great music, like many of the people in the camp too, and I think he would be great, but. I don't know if I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe he feels, or maybe he is a little too big to fit under that umbrella. But I mean,
I
I think it should happen.
and I think there's value in historically in rappers standing by another legendary artist in that way and being taken under the wing of another like legendary act. Like we saw with Drake and Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Drake wouldn't have been Drake if Lil Wayne
Mhm.
didn't stand by him and be like, "Hey, this is my guy." Collaborate with him and do a lot of songs with him. And I think we've seen that historically over
Facts.
time. Whether you're talking about Biggie and Jay Z, whether you're talking about um, Snoop and Dr. Dre, like whether you like, there's always been that
Mhm.
that dynamic within hip hop of like, hey, this is somebody who came up under me, and this is a part of our camp. Kanye and Jay Z, like it's always been that. So I think that there is value in that I think it could benefit Corday just as far as getting his music out even further than what it already is. He's already a big artist, but just in taking his stuff to that next level, I think it could be beneficial. But never know, never know.
Yeah. But in fairness, we've also seen it go really wrong. We
That's
also saw Prodigy sign with 50, and we were like, what are you doing? But by then, he was already, Prodigy to me was a legend then. So it's like, okay, you're a legend, but now you're signing with such and such. And if I'm not mistaken, that didn't like, I think Rakim, did he make a similar move with signing with Aftermath with Dr. Dre? Like, we seen elements where it didn't necessarily work out. And I think it's because maybe those artists were far too established to
yeah,
make that move. So I think for Corday, he's established, but he's just young enough to like make it work. And plus, like I think in this time, he needs a bit of a reset, to be honest. I think he does.
yeah, and I think the difference with those were already legacy acts now trying to sign to a younger act.
Mm,
So I think that's a little tricky because it's like you're almost viewed as more of a legendary artist than the person you're signing to. That's going to be looked at differently, as opposed to somebody like Corday who's probably in his 20s still signing to somebody like a Cole who's been around for probably 15 years at this point. You know what I mean? Who
yeah.
who he probably grew up listening to anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can hear the influence of J. Cole in Corday. You know what I mean? When I hear Corday rap, I hear the J. Cole influence. So I think it could I think
Mhm.
it could work, but yeah, we've definitely seen cases where it didn't. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think one that kind of worked is Snoop doing signing with No Limit, Masterpiece No Limit. Like for me, I like some of those albums. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the worst graphic design. I think that era, bro, has some of the worst graphic design covers I've ever seen. Like I know people look at it and like laugh and like cherish the nostalgia of it, bro. But like the big gold fonts with the sparkle like effect, like it's just so cheesy, bro. It was cheesy then. It's even worse looking back now. But he made some good music in that era, though. I stand on that.
Yeah, but the thing is though, now that's a look though. He made it. It was unique. it stood out amongst all the other art because it looked so drastically different, and that's
That's
probably
fair.
and I would assume that was the marketing strategy, unless they were just trying to cut costs. I don't know if I feel like that had to be strategic of like making this stuff so drastically
Mm-hmm.
different. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no limit, no limit. I can't say No Limit put out 1,000 projects, so I haven't listened to the majority of them. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I know the singles, but I'm sure there's some good stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. No disrespect to New Orleans. I don't think I'll ever listen to a Silk the Shocker album ever. Um, but who knows? Maybe I'll stumble on it tonight just for shits and giggles, man.
No,
Who
you won't.
knows? Interesting time though. Interesting time. I was a baby then, but like I looking back on it, it was an interesting time. Interesting time.
Yeah, I've never listened to Silk Shaka. I could never get into Silk Shaka. Now I remember when we talked about unorthodox pockets that rappers go in. Silk Shaka is a little too unorthodox for me. I was never able to get into Silk Shaka, man. That's where I draw the line. I never was able to get into
Yeah.
Silk Shaka. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
nah,
Nah.
nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Man. But all right, so let's let's fast forward to this era, man. Because I can talk about that era all day, but I know we got one of my favorite artists. Feel like an underrated artist, man. And I think partially is due to him taking a lull, a break between albums and other projects. But also, he just seems like he has a humble like demeanor, attitude already. But Big Sean's man, Big Sean's new album, Better Me Than You. Listen, I have my thoughts. I actually had a preview of this album already. Obviously we saw the final product. It differed slightly. I think he added more songs into it, but I think I'm coming away with the same ideas about it. But what did you think about the new Big Sean album?
So going into the album, man, like I said, I think Big Sean's. I always compare everything of Big Sean's to Dark Sky Paradise because I think that's his best album. Um, I love the production on Dark
Mm,
Sky Paradise, and I think that really kind of solidified his sound to me, in the most polished way. And with this man, there are some songs I love on this album. One like some classic songs that I definitely will be revisiting. One is the one when he sampled Usher Superstar. So who you are,
hmm
I think it's a certified hit. Like when I heard that song, I was like, no, this is a great way to flip that song. And number one, I love the song Superstar already, but for him to be able to sample
hmm
it in the way he did, I think it's amazing. Typecast is one of my favorite songs on the album. Definitely a standout record that
Yes.
I just think is dope. Like great production. Big Sean's rapping is on point. Um, On Up is another one that I really liked that stood out. Boundaries is another one that I liked. Just a lot. There's a lot of music here. Another one of my favorite ones is This and That with Bryson Tiller. I thought was another hard song.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
hmm
Now I will say, listening to the album, one thing that and this might be me as a listener, and it might honestly be because of the type of music I listen to and how my ears have been conditioned as far as what type of messaging I want to hear. Um, this album at certain points gets a little like too crystal positive vibes and affirmations for me. Like I'm like I don't really
Mm.
like I it's got a little bit of that too much for me. And it might be because I'm scarred
Okay.
because I had a girl I used to date who was into all that stuff, who was a lunatic, you know what I mean, who was into the crystals and the sage and the
Mm.
affirmations and the vision board. So it might be a personal bias.
hmm
But to me, there's songs and skits in here where I'm just like, all right, this is kind of corny. Like there's songs where he overdoes it. You know what I mean? And I think so. That's an element in it that I definitely don't like. So there's certain songs on here that I do skip because it's just too. I'm not gonna even say too positive, but it's almost just too like it almost comes across preachy at times, where it's just like, I'm awakened and I'm new and I'm enlightened and I'm this, and it comes across like that sometimes in the album. So there are definitely some songs on here that I skip for sure, but overall, I think that it's an amazing project, and I honestly think he could have cut some of the songs on here and it would have been better. I think that there's probably like at least four that he could have cut out of here, and it made it more concise and just cut off some of the songs that are just like you know. But overall, I really liked
hmm
it.
Yeah, I agree on that part. Like, I feel like I overall really like this project, man. I think songs that I've been going back to is one of them is Typecast. Another is you. What is that joint with On Up? Right? Like, I love the sample. I love the positive feeling you get. Like, you get like I don't know, like you get butterflies listening to it and shit. I know that sounds corny, but like generally, you just feel happier listening to a lot of songs on this project, man. And I think that was his vision going in. Big Sean talked a lot about just like doing, going through his spiritual journey, how he found solace in self. And that's what took so long. That's the period and the reason for the gap between one project, which was Detroit 2, to this one, right? That 4 year period. So I love Typecast. I love Million Pieces, where he's breaking down, feeling like everybody's pulling energy from him, finances from him, everything else, and he needs a moment to piece himself together. Like, I love the themes along that in that line of thought. And I also love Together Forever, to close that album with an Alchemist beat, bro. You sold me. You already sold me. You know what I'm saying? So I love these songs about his son, his relationship with Janae Aiko. Like, this is the stuff that I want to hear from artists, is for them to peel back those layers and go a bit deeper and talk about what elements in life kind of scare them, make them hesitant, or make them appreciate everything that they built or had up to this point.
Yeah,
At the same time, it does seem a little sage musicy a little bit in certain times, bro. It seems a little bit overtly, like, overly positive, bro. It does, like, and you use the word that I was thinking, preachy, because at certain points in the song, he almost breaks from song a little bit to give you a message and nugget, which is like, for me, someone like me who pretty much thinks positively, that believes in manifestation, and words of affirmation, like common SEO words or like keywords that people use nowadays, right? That are like, everybody's like, if you're an influencer, you use these terms, these keywords, right, to garner our audience, or just uh have this title as an expert life coach, right? But like, it's obvious to us. So like, the preachiness, these moments where he breaks out and says these things, or even integrates them into song, it does come off a little cheesy, or it comes off like he's trying a little too hard. But again, those are certain elements where it seems very genuine and it's authentically placed into songs. I love it, bro.
yeah,
So yeah, overall, I love it.
and I would agree. I like it when it's put within the actual song, but when he does those
Mm,
breakaways where it's peace and manifestation and love and light, and it's just be like, bro, I just get back to rapping. Like, you know what I mean? It's those moments in the song and those little breakaways where it's like, all right, like, you laying it on thick. And so when it's in
mm-hmm,
the bars, I like it. I like all the times when he raps about that type of stuff. I like it.
mm-hmm,
Like, another person who does that in a lot of their music, believe it or not, because I know his image perception and his music don't match. But when you listen to Kevin Gates' music, he does that a lot. But
mm-hmm,
he'll integrate it within the lyrics though, so that and tie it in a little bit smoother, as opposed to like just you know here, and you hear all these buzzwords that everybody's saying about positively and taking accountability and this. It's just, it was a lot, you know what I mean, at moments. But I think overall, I love the project. I think that this is definitely one of the best albums of the year thus far. So I like that you made that point, because
mm-hmm.
I definitely would agree there. I think that there's enough solid songs on here to make this one of the best albums of the year. There's enough uh, dope songs and with a lot of subject matter in here. Whether it's the song he made about his son, um, whether it's like I said, Typecast, whether we're talking about the Usher joint is like a more on the hit side of what I mean, of the game. I think he has a little bit of everything in it. So yeah, definitely a dope project.
Absolutely. And I did tweet that out. I said, Big Sean just made one of the best albums of the year and nobody's talking about it. And what surprised me is that certain people, like, you know what I mean, liked it or like agreed with me in that sense. But then you had other people and like some of the homies that were like, yeah, but he hasn't been really making noise for a while. So like, that's why people they don't really care. They're not as excited or enthused as they should be. And my whole point is like, if you listen to the album, which I know is like a barrier for a lot of people, would you actually listen to the album? He's telling you why. If you listen to his interviews, he's explaining to you why he took this break And even with that period, he came back and made great music. He didn't make mediocre music. He made great music with this. So I think people have to like think about the difference between a fall off and a fall back
Mm.
because they are so distinctly different.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest differences between falling off and falling back from music is when you fall off, that means the fans, the audience, the consumers are saying we don't want to hear you anymore. That's falling
Mm-hmm.
off, as opposed to falling back is the artist saying, even while they're in high demand, saying, I need to pull back from making music. Perfect prime example of this, Andre 3000 fell back. Lauryn Hill fell back. Um, who else? You know what I mean? When you're thinking about those type of artists, they fall back. Big Sean fell back. The people who
Mm-hmm.
made Stanky Leg, they fell off. You know what I mean? we got
Yeah.
we got stanky leg and we don't need another stanky leg. We cool, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
those aren't the same. Like falling back is just while you're in high demand saying I as a person don't want to be in the limelight anymore, whether that's for raising family, whether that's personal stuff going
Mm-hmm.
on. And unfortunately though, I will say sometimes falling back as an artist does impact your career
Mm-hmm.
severely because sometimes those listeners have moved on to listening to other artists primarily. There's been another person who's taken your spot in their playlist, so they're no longer checking for your music anymore. And I think we
Mm-hmm.
talked about it a little bit here. Like I went for a period without listening to Lupe Fiasco because Kendrick Lamar came out and kind of fulfilled that gap
Mm.
of music that I would typically be listening to when I was listening to Lupe. You know what I mean? He filled that intellectual rap bubble that I needed at that
Mm-hmm.
time that spoke on more pertinent Black issues. So it can definitely impact you because those that audience is gonna listen to something else. So
Mm-hmm.
and there's only 24 hours in a day, so sometimes they're not as excited when you come back out with another project. But I think Big Sean should be able to overcome that with this because, like I said, there are if the rollout is appropriate, he definitely needs to roll out if he hasn't already a music video for that superstar joint is crazy. That's gonna be played in my car. Move
Mm-hmm.
forward, great song.
Absolutely. Like I think he needs to double down and just lock in on the promotion and marketing behind this project, bro. Like it's one of those projects you need that for because again, he has so much good music on here that it will only benefit him because the reality is how one of my friends, what they said, a lot of people feel. Like that's just the reality of it. Even if I think they're wrong by saying like, yo, he fell off, like nobody's gonna get excited about that. Like this is his actual moment to really tap in and like show people. And sometimes a music video, you have to do that. Sometimes like you got to take that extra step to garner the respect he's already earned, mind you,
Correct.
with the great music he's already produced and made. But sometimes you got to pop out and show.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
it's a,
this is one of those
It's the
cases.
truth, yeah, man. So shout out to Big Sean, man. I think this is going to be a project that stands the test of time. I definitely think it's gonna. It's not, of course, definitely don't think it's his best project. Like I said, I think that it's. I think it's one of his best. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be remembered as one of his best as time moves forward, just because of the messaging, but also I think that there's some great music on the album. Like I said, there are some songs that I don't personally like and probably won't go back to, but there are some that I love. So I think that it's balanced in that way.
I will say one thing I'm disappointed in a little bit is not hearing a 2088 song on here, like him and Janae Aiko on a song. I'm wondering why that is. Maybe he's, I don't know. I don't
Maybe,
know because we can't even say he's teasing or waiting for something like a second project to drop. But they are a group. Like I don't understand why they aren't like they didn't make a 2088 style song on
maybe
here.
they got another album rolling out. Maybe they are putting out another 2088 project. That's the only thing that I can assume because I definitely thought the same thing. I was shocked that I didn't hear Janae on the album. Um,
Hmm.
I think they make some good music together. I definitely hopefully they have a project that they're rolling out together. But yeah,
Absolutely.
man, I think Big Sean has solidified his spot in hip hop to the point where you know he stood the test of time, man. People have to remember he's in that same class of J. Cole, Kendrick, Wale. They all came out in the
Yeah.
same era. Uh, so the fact that he's still around and making relevant projects is dope, man. So yeah, if you haven't checked out his album, I highly recommend it. Like I said, it is
Yes.
very positive. People got, and unfortunately in hip hop, man, we aren't even accustomed to hearing positive rap anymore, which I think
I
is
know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Even people have these same critiques that when Chance the Rapper's had a positive album that was out. And it's like it's almost like when people when you're in a happy stage of life, people are like, but we want to hear about the pain, you know. But
Hmm.
but to be fair, there are times where I think Big Sean has been able to toe the line of rapping positive, but the song still having a almost like a darker sound to it where it balances it out. Like a perfect example, when Big Sean made "Blessed," I think
Hmm.
that's one example of it. Or really on Dark Sky Paradise, there's a few songs like that where it's
Yeah.
balanced. So I think that you're able to do it, but I think that it's just a matter of him actually. Uh, it's really production. I think the biggest thing is going.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's production.
Yeah. Yeah. And his production, like that's one of the elements that made me even a fan of Big Sean is he always had top tier production. Obviously, he was in the good music camp. You're going to get that with being in that camp. But I hear you on just the larger themes of that. It's crazy. Like we love trauma, especially black trauma as fans. It's a weird relationship we have with our musicians and our artists and the music and art that they create. Is that we feed into it, like we're drawn to it unconsciously. It is a weird dynamic. We actually interviewed someone for the book that we're writing who echoed the same sentiments,
Yeah,
man. So I think we do have to find ways to appreciate more of these positive songs, like in the long run, because otherwise, like we'll just continue to like draw that out of the
and,
artist and the art form itself.
and when you think about it, I think out of artists, Big Sean has been one who's had some of the more positive messaging just throughout his career. Because even when I think back on it, like when the album "I Decided," which I thought was a great project too,
Great album.
bounce back. You know what I mean? That's a positive song. Last night took an L,
Hmm.
but tonight I bounced back. Like it's a song about overcoming obstacles. So I think that Big Sean has done that a lot throughout his career. And like I said, I'm glad that he's continuing. He's not veering away from his message to go into whatever is popular at the time.
Yeah, and I agree. What I do like that he veered away from is saying like some of the more gimmick. I don't want to call it gimmicky, bro, but to me it was like I do it, like you know what I mean. Like it was just kind of like I get it for the time. For the time, it was cool, but his fans have grown up. He's grown up. Like we don't want to hear that necessarily that type of Big
You want
Sean, like that era of Big Sean.
you want him to get rid of his ad libs, man? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, bro. I want to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Like I don't want to hear. I know we talked about Travis. Well, that's different. Never mind. I was about to
I'm
say we
finna
don't want to
say
hear La Flame. Like we don't want to hear
he's
that.
still saying
Like we just
straight up and all that. He's still doing all the same ad libs
straight
too.
up, yeah, yeah. But he makes party records. Like he makes stadium music.
Yeah,
I want to see with this new formed Sean. I love the artist he has grown and evolved into. Like I
yeah.
love to see that, bro.
Yeah, and I think there's a way to balance it because
Mhm.
Jeezy, like I don't want to hear Jeezy. If I hear the Jeezy album and I don't hear none of the Jeezy ad libs, I'm gonna be mad. And I
Uh,
mean, I feel like
yeah.
maybe it's just because of how legendary Jeezy's ad libs are. Like the fact that his ad libs have been sampled, just his ad libs on songs.
They have.
Yeah,
So it's Travis's.
yeah,
Travis's has been sampled too.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
when your ad libs are good enough for people to be like, I don't even want to sample any of the other songs. Just give me the ad lib, and I'm gonna put that over my song. Like that's crazy. So yeah, big, but I
It's
definitely think
different.
Big Sean has matured as an artist for sure. You can hear it.
Right. You just made me think about a topic, yo. Like who stacks up and has the best ad libs? For
Mm.
me, a sleeper is like Jada Kiss. Like his
Oh,
bro, and what's crazy, that's his laugh. Like that's his actual laugh. So
it's crazy. That's a good one.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah.
Uh,
I love
I
his
would
ad
say
libs,
I would
bro.
say Jeezy for sure for me.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I feel like you got to put the Migos on there.
Have to.
I feel like I,
That was my next
I
pick.
feel like the Migos have to go on there, man, just because their ad libs just sound so different. So I would
Hmm.
say Migos are in there. I'm not even the biggest Gucci man fan as far as his music, but you got
Yeah,
Gucci in there too.
got to. You got to.
Burr was a whole thing. All of that.
It was the whole
And
thing,
I'm gonna
bro.
go Rick Ross though.
Yeah, you got to put Ross in there, bro. Got to.
Yeah. Who? I think
Yeah.
those are some of the the ones I like the most.
Those are the most iconic to me. Like I can't really think of because like at a certain point I don't remember rappers like earlier rappers really doing ad libs as
No.
heavy until the 2000s. So unless I'm tripping, like
No.
educate me,
No.
people. But
No, a
yeah,
lot of the early acts weren't doing a lot of ad libs on their songs. That's definitely
Mhm.
something that came more 2000s. Now, this isn't actually an ad lib, but Wayne's lighter flick.
Oh yeah, that's just legendary. You know he cooking. You know he about to spit nothing but you know what I'm saying, like fire. Once that flicker,
That
yeah,
lighter flick is historic. That's one of those ones where you know, okay, I see what's about to happen here.
for
I could
sure,
tell you
for
I could
sure.
tell you one of my least favorite ad libs,
What's that,
DJ Khaled's.
man? That's giant. Corny, man. Like everything Khaled does. I respect his business acumen, his marketing genius, but that man, I turn it down when I hear his portion of a song. Automatically, brother. Like he's made some magic and he's ruined some
I'm
magic
not
too.
gonna lie, I definitely turn off when I hear that ad lib and all that yelling come on the song. I'd be like, nah, bro, I'm cool. Next song,
Bro. Next song.
next song.
And it better not be a Khaled joint. If you in a Khaled album, because he has some good albums too. Like, of course. But like,
When
yeah,
you the worst part of your album though,
that's fair. That's
I
valid.
got
And we talked about that with Vultures and Vultures too. We talked about that.
yeah.
How I felt about Kanye being the worst part of a lot of these
Sometimes
songs.
sometimes it
So
be your vocals that need to be removed. They be like,
yeah,
I,
absolutely. You self awareness is a talent.
it is, it is.
So like place on you from the heavens, bro. Like, cause a lot of people do not have it.
No,
And that's just a
no,
fact.
not at all, not at all. But that is yeah. I think ad lib sometimes can help an artist's overall sound.
Hmm.
Sometimes they not.
And it definitely
Oh, it helped Migos heavily,
helps.
heavily helped Migos. Another thing that we got to talk about, man, is the Grammys. Who we think
Yes.
we got to give some early nominee predictions, man, as far as the hip hop, man. What you thinking, man? So let's start off. Let's start off with best rap album. Who you think? Who you
Okay.
think might have it, man?
Woo! Okay, for those that don't know too, I just want to note this too. So the reason why we're talking about that is because like for artists, the last day of entry was last week, this past weekend actually. And so that's why we're previewing it. For me, and you're talking rap album,
Rap
right?
album, best
Um,
rap album.
whoo,
I'm
I
sure there will
think
be a hip hop artist who's on best album of the year. That'd be one at least nominated. But as far as
mm,
I say I don't know this year. But best rap album, what you thinking?
so. I think who would potentially win honestly, and this isn't my pick for best rap album. This is my pick for who would win. So, do you want me to say both or just one?
You
The
can say
second one.
both. You can say who you think will
Okay.
win and who you believe will win and who you think should win. Could be two separate.
So I think my favorite album this year, and I'm saying this confidently, I don't care, and I'm looking down at my list. It's a tight one too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Who I have as my top album is actually Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. Like
Mm,
that's a surprise for a lot of
okay.
folks. I understand why, but that's my top album of the year so far. But I think who would win just based on like the magnitude of one song in particular, but also the quality of album altogether. I would say Metro and Future's "We Don't Trust You." I think would actually take home the gramophone. That's what I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So mine is this: the person who I think will win. I think Eminem's album is going to win. That's who I
Mm-hmm.
believe will win, and I think it's because of if they're looking at the album sales, if they're looking at the rollout and him tying in some of the historic parts of his legacy and just
Mm-hmm.
what the album meant to his fans. I think that is what is going to win. Um,
Yeah.
but it's not what I think should win. What I think should win,
Hmm.
um, I would say, I'm going to be honest, man. I think some of the most solid albums to me that I really, really like, that I think I'm gonna give two.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rhapsody's joint stands a chance.
Mm.
Please Don't Cry, I think stands a chance. I think that it was an amazing project. And if you haven't heard Rhapsody's project, please do yourself a favor and check it out. It's well produced, it's very lyrical, a lot of substance. I think it's a solid album. But I also think one album that of course I know this is not going to win, but I'm going to recommend everybody checking it out. Is going to be uh Vince Staples' Dark Times.
Yes. Great album.
I know we reviewed it here before, but I would say that album has a lot of depth to it. I think it's a very unique sound. I think that it's extremely lyrical. I think it's well thought out. That's another one, man. But there are some other ones that I think could also win. Might Delete Later is a sleep album that I unfortunately it was overshadowed by all of the beef and the drama between Kendrick
Hmm.
and Drake. But yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking. That's where my head is at with the albums.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see it. And I think again, my delete later for whatever reason, I don't know if people in their minds think of it as a preview to what's his
The
upcoming album, The
the
Warm
fall
Up,
off.
the, the Fall Off. I
That's
think
true.
that's why people aren't really locking into it, but it's a good body of
Yeah,
work, bro.
it's
Like
an extremely good project, and I think that it is, unfortunately it kind of got overshadowed by everything that was going on at the time. But if you haven't really got a chance to actually sit down and listen to it, I think it's an amazing body of work. But yeah, I definitely think I think Rhapsodies is hard. I think Rhapsodies would be nominated. Um, Vince
absolutely.
Staples maybe. I think Vince Staples has a chance of being nominated too, though.
He does, and he deserves it. Like I feel like Vince should always be in the conversation because year after year, like whenever he drops, he circulates. Like he usually has one of my favorite projects. Like Ramona Park broke my heart. Like I said in 2022 was one of my favorite
Yeah.
albums. Like years before that, like I think his self-titled joint, I want to say it was 2021. That was one of my favorite projects of the year then. So yeah, man.
And
Vince is
Vince
amazing.
is amazing, man, and Lil Homies, man, is a dope song, man, and he got a lot of songs on there like that on his album that I think are just great songs and that are well thought out, even as far as the lyrics and production. So yeah, man, yeah, those are my producers. All right, let's move on to best rap song.
Wow. So I think who's going to take this home, and I know I said that they're potentially going to win Best Rap Album, but I think this moment was too big not to mention it. I don't know the Recording Academy. I write for Grammy.com, but I obviously have no insight into what they choose, what they don't choose. I'm not a voting member. I'm not even in the local chapter in here in Philadelphia. So I don't know what is going to go which way, but my guess would be that Like That would
Mm.
actually be best rap song only because it created a tsunami when it drops. Like the beat is incredible. Like all three players, Metro, Future, and Kendrick, were at their best on that record this year. So I just kind of see that as being like a part of one of the biggest moments in rap, but also a safer pick because it doesn't dive into like the other kind of muddier parts of the Drake and Kendrick feud. So I see them kind of going with Like That just because it acknowledges it without maybe splitting too many hairs.
Mm. You know what? I 100% agree. I think that I was gonna go with the exact same thing. I think Like That is gonna get Song of the Year, and I think it's because
Mm.
the impact of it, the amount of time it spent on the charts, and just how important it was with sparking that whole situation, and the production. It's just a great
Mhm.
song overall. Um,
Yeah.
I think that stands a chance of getting best rap song. The only other one that I think stands a chance that I think might if definitely I would be shocked if it wasn't nominated is the one that Eminem had about his daughter on his album. Let me get the name of it.
Oh, that's a good
Um,
pick. That's a good
Let
pick.
me get the name of it. Don't I want to give him his just due for this song, and it's an amazing song. So I think that one,
Yeah.
the one on his album that's about,
Is it Somebody Save Me
yep,
with Jelly Roll,
yep,
right?
that one.
Yep.
That one I think stands a chance. Yeah, I think that one, just because of the impact of it, and because I think it's just a beautiful song. So I think
Yeah.
that one has a chance to. So it depends on which way they want to go. If they want to go more thought provoking and and introspective, or if they want to go with just a banger that just took over the industry. So
Hmm.
I would be shocked if both of them weren't nominated, but um, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those two as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then and,
I agree.
and then next up, best rap performance, which actually is a separate category.
So this is tough. I feel like so many songs could fit into this box. Um, you alluded to maybe Eminem being in the best rap song conversation. I think this is for me is where he would kind of slip in into the conversations. For best rap performance, especially with the concept of the death of Slim Shady as a whole, and then like the actual song I mentioned, the quality of it. I think I'm hesitant. That's why I'm taking so long. But I'm think it's going to be Houdini of all songs. I think it would be
Look at my
Houdini.
face.
I know. I know. I know. I know. I think it'll be Houdini. I
Nasty,
think Houdini will take it.
nasty
Yeah.
work. I think if they give it to anything off the Eminem album for performance, I think it needs to be Fuel with him and JID.
Or it could be Somebody Save Me. I think that's where the performance
Actually,
as
I,
well.
I agree. I agree. It could be that as
Yeah.
well. So I think,
Especially with Jelly Roll. They love Jelly
let
Roll.
me tell you who I think deserves it though.
Okay.
Best rap performance last year was Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, and I don't think it's close.
Mm,
His performance on
mm,
Euphoria, this man rapped 6 minutes long. The song switched like Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, from different pockets to different flows to, I mean,
mm-hmm.
Euphoria was to me just a masterpiece of a song. Even just take the diss record out of it, like just the way that song was just formatted and laid out was just amazing. That's what I believe deserves best rap best
Mm-hmm.
rap performance. I think it should be Kendrick Lamar Euphoria, um, and which would be crazy. But I'm best rap performance. I can't see. That to me that's what deserves it. I don't think that they'll give it to Not Like Us just because of like it's crazy to give a Grammy to a song that's called somebody a predator. Like
Yeah.
crazy, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy work. It deserves an
Mm,
award though, as far as impact, but
yeah.
but I think Euphoria is like it doesn't touch on that component, but it's like it's just such a intricate and just masterful disc record that and song overall that I think every time I listen to that song, I'm just like, how did he make this song within that time frame? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just an amazing song. So that's what I think should win. I think Eminem's joint has a better chance. If it's Houdini, then that's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. If they get that to Houdini, because Houdini is only even cool if you're watching the video. If, nobody's gonna just who's
Mhm.
just listening to that song. And
I'm
I
not.
thought it was cool with the video accompanied with it. I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
But just the song itself, yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah. But again, like I think this could be a bigger topic. It's just the the Academy has gotten it wrong so many times. Like it just wouldn't surprise
Let me
me.
tell
Like
you,
honestly.
I'm gonna tell you the exact moment when I lost complete faith in the Academy. The
Mhm.
moment they gave Macklemore that award over Kendrick Lamar, as a hip hop fan, I let me tell you, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like,
Mhm.
this is like that was just disrespectful to like just just ridiculous levels. That moment, it was when I was like, oh yeah, I don't have any faith in y'all decision making. Yeah. So but the last couple years, I'll say they've done better. I will say
They've
they
done
got it
better.
right. They
They've
got it
done
right
better.
with Killer Mike. They made me proud with that one.
Yeah.
They made me proud with that one.
Yeah, they did.
Killer Mike deserved that award. Like that album deserved every bit of that award.
Because it sounded like it just the magnitude of like the production, everything. Like, and Killer Mike does what he does as a lyricist. So the features, like everything about that project said, give me the Grammy and give it to me now. And he swept all three categories that he was in too. So, bro, it was amazing. So I would say in that moment, and again, this wasn't like a mainstream knockout. You know what I'm saying? Either. And that's usually where the Academy usually sides with in most cases, and that's why they get it wrong like often. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So the fact that they did it selected a non-mainstream success in the sense that it's not triple quadruple platinum, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Was a testament to it. But again, yeah, Macklemore moment, I've seen them make other dumb decisions, and I'm just like, why did you pick this album for album of the year? Why was it even nominated? Like, oh, another example. They don't just mess it up just in hip hop. SZA's SOS to me should have won album of the year last year, but instead they went with another Taylor Swift joint. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just get frustrated off moments like those alone. So, yeah, that's what you experience as someone who enjoys music. I don't really enjoy watching award shows for that reason.
Mm.
They usually don't get it right. You know what
I'll
I
be
mean?
honest. I can't even think of the last time I watched a full award show. I catch
It's been a
I
minute.
catch the clips on the internet like everybody else. Like that's pretty much where I'm at with it. There's not really any time when I'm watching a full award show anymore. But but I have to. Hopefully they get this one right, man. I think that the ones we mentioned, like I said, I would be cool with Metro and Future cleaning up. I don't think it's a bad look either, just because the production is amazing. The only
Yeah,
reason, and you
crazy.
already know what I'm going to say, the reason why I wouldn't give it album of the year is just because the substance. You know what I mean? Like I feel like albums to be hip hop album of the year, I think it's there. I would like it to always be something that has some type of substance in it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But production wise, that album is top tier. So I wouldn't be shocked if it won.
And I understand that substance conversation because even with like a controversial pick like Macklemore's project over Good Kid, Mad City, if you actually go to the album, number one, it's not a bad
Oh no, it's
album,
not bad.
and there's a lot of positive messaging in that
Oh
album. So
yeah.
like we can still have that conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. It was a definitely impactful. But here's the thing. I don't, and this might be a controversial take, but I don't care. It is. I don't think you can give best hip hop album of the year to an album that black people don't listen to.
Mm,
To me, that's crazy. Like if it doesn't have any impact in the culture, um,
mm,
they created the genre. It's like, well then what is like there was nobody that I knew who was bumping Macklemore's
mm,
album. No, not a soul. At least with Eminem's album, I
mm.
can say I do know black people who listen to Eminem. It's not a lot of them, but I do know some.
And they'll defend him to the death.
Absolutely, they go
Absolutely.
hard. You know what I mean? But I don't know any black person who I knew who was listening to that album in full at all. So
The heist, yeah. Nah, not in full. I will say, I was definitely listening to Thrift Shop. I'm gonna
oh,
be keep it up
everybody was listening to. He had a couple songs on there that people were listening to, but I'm just saying, like
for
the
sure.
project, like who was actually going to that project and being like, let me
Mhm,
dive into this Macklemore album. And like I said, and maybe that's a day to
mhm,
take because now hip hop is so global and has outgrown,
mhm.
just being a black genre. But that's just how I view it. I don't think if it doesn't have impact in that community, how I don't know how it could be looked at as the
Mhm.
best rap album of the year. I don't see it.
Yeah, and I think, and to go back to a point too, like I think the reason why people don't watch award shows like this past Grammys, Grammy 2024, and like what was it, February or
Mm-hmm.
January? That was the first time I watched it in probably 10 years full out. And I think the only reason I did is because I had nothing else better to do. Like I think that's the only reason. I
Mm-hmm.
think social media actually ruined the award show experience because you can now witness everything from clips. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Like so, what's the point? We saw the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock escapade from what became a tweet, a series of videos on Instagram, and we already got we already know what's up. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So why would I watch a 3.5 hour program? Like with 20,000 commercials in between.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense, bro. And to be honest, our generation just doesn't watch TV anymore anyway. So
yeah, they don't. They
it's
don't.
just a wrap, bro. Our generation doesn't watch TV. Like unless it's sports, like our generation is just
Uh huh.
not tuning into a live program event at all.
Yeah,
Like it's just not happening. Like so, I yeah,
and now the
I
game is messed up. Yeah.
yeah. Now we
Oh
just
yeah, I was just gonna say the game's messed up now because even your favorite sports are now on streaming platforms. So technically, we're not even watching regular TV for sporting events, bro.
that's crazy, bro. TV is on its last leg. TV
Facts.
is almost out of here, man. Like I can't even. I haven't
Hmm.
had cable. I can't even tell you the last time I had cable. I had cable at maybe like 2 cribs ago. I had cable just because it came in the apartment I was living in at the time. But like, I can't think of the last time I paid for cable. It's been years.
I would never pay for cable at this point.
No,
Yeah, it's down for me.
it's a wrap. Yeah, nah, bro. Another hard pod, bro.
Another one, man. And we did it virtually, which is like one thing we didn't want to do, but we did it and it's
Yeah,
here.
bro,
We crushed
bro,
it. So yes, sir.
you're sick, man. You got to get well, man. You got to get well. You got to rest up. Yes.
Yes, yes. But again, we appreciate all our supporters, everybody that tunes in, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and especially YouTube. We really appreciate y'all, man. Continue to support us because we're going to keep coming with good content as always every week. So
We don't
tune
take
in.
any of this for granted, man. On our YouTube channel, we almost doubled within the last week. Uh, which is
Crazy.
insane, man. So we first of all, thank you all for sharing our videos. Everybody who's been sharing it on you, sharing the YouTube videos, sharing the Instagram clips, the reels. Everybody who's really been sharing our content to their friends and saying, "Hey, tune into the show." We really appreciate y'all. So, man, make sure y'all are tuned in. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Rap and Reason. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Don't just watch the video. Hit subscribe. Subscribe, hit the
Yeah.
notification button so that you get notified when we drop videos on YouTube, man. And like I said, we appreciate the support. For us to only be on episode 9, man, to see this level of growth and not even just growth, but to see this much engagement from you all is really cool, man. Like we have a very, even though we still at a
Mm-hmm.
small base, we have a very engaged base. Like they're right now paragraphs as far as what they think about hip hop. They're, you know what I mean, they're really putting their thoughts and emotions and really critically thinking about the content that we're putting out, man. So y'all keep tuning in.